Hello. This is my passion project on the Battle of Thermopylae. This right here is a Persian trireme. Triremes, you'll notice this part here. These are battering rams, and they would use these to run into other ships, which would shred them. But in long-range sea travel, many triremes would sink when the Persians were on their way to Greece. Down here, we've got a living quarters. And then, go over here. Here at the pass of Thermopylae, which I built in a very bad way. Leonidas at the front is making his final stand against a bunch of Persian immortals, which are elite Persian forces. Persians had a bunch of archers, so the archers were raining fiery hell on them. But with their armor and shields, there wasn't much of a problem with the archers. Now, Leonidas told some of his troops, other than the 300 men he told to stay with him, he told them to retreat. Leonidas also, he did not have a group of only 300 men. He had 4,000 men, but only 300 could fit on the pass. Now, the immortals, which are these elite Persian units over here, are cutting them off, because they don't want them to get to the Greek camp, where the Greeks are holed up in here, the Greeks that were stayed at the camp, that is, and some of the immortals got up here, and you'll notice the guy in diamond armor here. This is Themistocles. He is the Athenian general and leader. I hate ladders in this game. And then, over here, you can trace the path of where the Greeks would be going to get to the ship, which would then take them back to the mainland of Sparta. It runs through here. A home in the wilderness over here. Now you may be wondering, is that it? No, it is not. The biggest part isn't. I have not even showed you the biggest part. The Persian camp. Now, the Persians were the biggest empire in the world right now, and the Greeks were not even an empire. They were just a collective group of about 1,000 city-states, and most of the city-states had deserted and gone to the Persians. Only a handful of about 70 city-states remained after the war. Those city-states were eventually re-established. So, we've got archer towers up here. Got some Persians talking. Now, you notice there's a Greek here. You're probably like, what the heck? The reason that Leonidas died, and the reason that the Greeks were slaughtered so badly after 3 days of fighting, was because they had a traitor among their ranks who went to the Persian camp and told Xerxes, right here, the leader of the Persians, he told him about a secret, about like a smaller way to get in behind Leonidas. And that is why you'll notice the Persians came through here. Not through here, they're going that way, they came through here. And then Leonidas was forced to fend off the guys in the front. And he could not fend off the guys in the back. And Leonidas ended up dying, and his head was crucified. And that was put up as a warning to all people who would resist the reign of the Persians. Now, Xerxes' dad, Darius I, he had already taken over a Greek city-state called Ionia. And when there was a rebel uprising in Ionia, he learned that the Ionians had gotten support from Athens. And Athens was actually the first civilization, and it was only a city-state, think about that, it was only a city-state. And they were the first people to think, you know what? Why don't we let the people pick their leader? And then Darius figured it out and vowed to destroy Athens. And he attacked relentlessly at the Battle of Marathon, where he was defeated in a complete upset. And he was very angry. And then he headed back to Persia to lick his wounds. Not literally lick his wounds, but like to recuperate and gather more men up. Ooh, a dolphin. Cute. And how am I supposed to say this? He eventually, while he was recuperating, he died of old age. And his son Xerxes took over. Then after the Battle of Thermopylae, the Persians headed to Athens, which had now been, which now everybody but the most stubborn of elders had left and escaped. And so the same fleet that took the Athenians out of Athens, which was then razed to the ground by the Persians, the empty city, that same fleet turned around and ambushed them and pretty much won the war for the Greeks. And yes, the Greeks, which were not even an empire, won against the greatest empire the world had ever seen at that point. This was my project on the battle in the Greco-Persian Wars called the Battle of Thermopylae. Thank you, and goodbye. Now, how do I finish my broadcast? This is my first broadcast.